Okay, so now we're going to talk today about leadership a little bit. So first, we'll just kind of talk about what kinds of leaders there are. Then some of the traditional theories of leadership that are out there, some more modern or contemporary things, and where the leadership research is moving. Okay? So, what is an effective leader? Right? Look at that. That's a nice image. I wonder where I found that. I know exactly where I found it because there's a link, right? So here's a good story. A group of workers and their leaders are set a task of clearing a road through a dense jungle on a remote island to get to the coast, where an estuary provides a perfect site for a port. Lovely. The leaders organize the labor into efficient units, monitor the distribution and use of capital assets, right? What resources you have. Progress is excellent. The leaders continue to monitor and evaluate progress, making adjustments to ensure progress is maintained and efficiency is increased wherever possible. Then, one day, in all of this activity, one person climbs a nearby tree. They look around from the top of the tree and they yell, "Wrong way." All right? So you get the idea here is that a manager does things right, a leader does the right things, okay? So a manager might get caught up in the details where a leader sees the big picture, perhaps. Okay, so lots of differences between what is a manager and what is a leader, right? So a manager focuses on the task, a leader focuses on the people. Okay, managers plan things, leaders inspire people. Okay, so there's a variety of differences between the two. Right? So what is leadership? Right, it's a social process. Individuals intentionally exert influence over others, motivating people in the organization, trying to get a common outcome, things of this nature. Obviously, to define effective leadership, you need to have some kind of metric, which is usually measured in outcomes such as job performance, right? So how many units did your group produce or something? But ultimately, leadership has at its central point power. And we're going to talk more about the types of power that a leader can hold, okay? So there's different ways, but ultimately power is at the core of leadership. Okay? So what kinds of leaders are out there? You got autocratic leaders. I really hate autocratic leaders. They bother me very much. I don't know who gives them their power because I didn't vote for them. Okay, I guarantee you I would never vote for an autocratic leader. Some people like autocratic leaders. Okay, in certain parts of the world, autocratic leaders are far preferable to any other style of leadership. So it's a non-Western thing as well. But clearly, autocratic leaders make decisions without considering what the employees think. All right, I think it's kind of stupid because leaders, as a general rule, are not down in the trenches. They don't really see what's going on from day to day, and they make choices and decisions that affect the day-to-day operations without knowing the day-to-day operations. That's my experience of autocratic leaders. Democratic leaders on a kind of polar opposite side, decision making by vote, basically. So a democratic leader can consult and persuade, right? Consult to find out before they make decisions, talk to the people that are down in the trenches doing the job, okay? Now, it's pretty clear that autocratic leaders can make decisions quickly, right? Very, very fast. But democratic leaders take longer, okay? A laissez-faire leader. Laissez-faire comes, from the French? For let them be or something like that? I don't know. I think because I learned that word in economics class. Whatever. A laissez-faire leader, they share leadership responsibilities. They're much more hands-off, shall we say. It's useful if you need a lot of creativity because it gives the individual workers a lot more flexibility. You got to have good teamwork. You got to have good interpersonal relations. So it's a different style, and it's useful in different contexts. Paternalistic leaders are somewhat similar to an autocratic leader, but they make the decisions the way a parent would, but they may consult the workers. The support staff needs to be there, but still, it's just a step away from an autocratic leader. Strategic leaders bridge the gap between senior management and employees. I like this one. Strategic leaders. The best leader I ever had. I'm not exactly, I guess I would call her a strategic leader. And that was one time I had a dean, and when I sat down to talk to her, she basically said, if I do my job properly, you won't even know I'm doing my job. And I was like, that's awesome. She says her job is to remove barricades so that you can just get your job done. And I'm like, I like that kind of leader, okay? You do that for me. You take care of all of the bullshit that upper level administration is looking for. And let me just put my nose down and do what I do well. Okay? Bureaucratic leaders, they just follow the book, right? Whatever the book says. I mean, I'll listen to you, but it doesn't matter. If the book says yes, then the answer is yes. And if the book says no, then the answer is no. Okay? A coaching kind of a leader, and we talked about that all good leaders, remember when we talked about feedback cycles, all good leaders in some way or another ought to be a coach of some kind. Okay? And then we got micromanagers. Oh, can they make your life hard? They're just minute details. They're every detail. A micromanager has high standards. They have tight deadlines. It's like, okay, I have to have the task done in one day, and it must have these exact details. Why does it need these details? Because I said so. But is there any reason that those exact... No, that's just the way it has to be. Ugh. Not fun to work for. Okay? So we'll start talking about some theories of leadership in the next video.